Hello, everybody. This is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. And today's subject is imagination. Imagination. So we'll get started just in a minute. You can go to roberthollis.com/free and get a copy of my best-selling book, How Is That Working? Rat Race to Freedom. Actually, three categories in Amazon that it went to the top. So we'll wait for Meta and the algorithms to get everything going, and we'll get started here just in a few seconds. So, yes. Hi, Bill. Thank you very much. Pat, Melody, I love you. Corky, Vernay, Lisa, I love all of you. And just Melody's super close to me. So, hi, Nelda, Jim, Kai, Scott, Eric. Great to have you on here. Hi, Craig. How you doing? Shauna, I don't know if I said your name. I want to make sure that I get everyone. Hi, Christy. Great to have you on here. I really appreciate it. And hey, Jennifer. Nice to have you on here. And we'll get started just in a few more seconds. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. My name is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. And today's subject is imagination. Imagination. Now, we've been going through me and a bunch of my very close family, I guess. We've been doing a series called Mastery of the Science of Getting Rich. And one of the things that's very unique is, we've been talking about, how children just have this imagination, and it's like vision, they're always imagining things. And, it's like imaginary friends, imaginary, they're excited. And then as we get older, that imagination sort of gets beat out of us, for a lack of better things. It's like, stop being a daydreamer, stop being a, dreamer. And it's like, what is wrong? What is wrong with you, right? So I seen this post the other day and I thought, wow, I'm going to use it because worry. Have any of you ever worried? See, worrying is a waste of imagination. So we're still contemplating and overthinking and worrying and having fear. If this happens, and then this will happen, and then that will cause this to happen, and then I'll have this happen. And so a lot of people do not realize that they have imagination, but they use it the wrong way. See, they're constantly thinking about, what if I talk to somebody and they said no? What if they ask me questions? Then I'm going to look stupid if I don't know the answers. And what we do is we just work ourselves up with an imagination. And so I don't know if you've heard this phrase. I don't know what exactly the percentage is, but a majority of the stuff that we worry about never ever comes to fruition. It never ever truly happens. And so, just to realize that, that you still are a person that can do imaginations, but you need to do it in a positive way. So imagination is more important than knowledge. Albert Einstein used to say this all the time. He said, listen, your imagination is more important than knowledge, because the imagination that we have of making something happen, or actually putting our minds in a place where, we could experience something, or we could watch people that we love experience something. You see what I mean? And so, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination, embraces the entire world. And stimulating progress gives birth to innovation. So, there's always, people out there that they're using imagination in not the right way, and then other people that are constantly just imagining things, and they seem to be the lucky person. It's like, wow, Robert, why do all things go great for you? Why does everything work out for you? It's because I'm still a child. I learned to plug back into that imagination, always constantly hearing things and acting on a positive way with that imagination, instead of the worry. And one of the things is too is we also do that with imagination. We have a tendency, a lot of people, I won't say you, but a lot of people have a tendency of over exaggerating things, actually making, what's the phrase? Wow, you're always making a mountain out of a molehill because we just constantly are making things. Oh, you disrespected me. You see this happening, and you disrespected me, or jealousy. People are jealous, and people are competitive. They don't want people to make them look bad. Don't you always hear this phrase? It's like you're making me look bad. And it's like I'm not doing anything. I'm just being me. I'm just doing what I'm doing. So you get this whole group of people out there that can create some pretty awful things in their mind and continue to make it worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And so if you know a person that's doing that, just say, "Wow, you're great at imagination." They're like, "What do you mean?" Well, you imagine that if this happens and this is going to happen, and it really runs on false emotions appearing real, fear, false education appearing real. And what we have a tendency of doing is like everyone wants to scare us about what's going to happen. The newest one is AI, and oh my God, what if fill in the blank, what if, Russia attacks us, what if we get in a war with China, what if the economy disappears, and what if we go into a recession, and what if the wrong president gets in. See, and so it's always these people that are doing the what if world, but they never do the what if world in the opposite direction. So people say, well, what if this doesn't work? What if it does? What if I can't find the right people? What if you did? What if I couldn't figure this out? What if you could? It's like, it just goes on and on and on. So if you're going to learn to play the what if game with imagination, learn and take a little bit of your time on a day-to-day basis and just get to the place that what if you were thinking imagination of about incredible outcomes for you and your family. So you get these people that are what? They're called optimistic, right? And it's because they always are finding joy in every day. They always have their imagination in creative, active of making things that they're looking forward to. So when they're looking forward to something, they move in action toward that thing. And so, really, really ask yourself how much time you spend in thinking and getting yourself worked up on an emotional level, because if you can do it on a negative side, you can do it on a positive side. So all it takes is awareness of going, wow, I'm used to going, all right, well, what if I'm late for this appointment? And then if I'm late for this appointment, the person's not going to like me. And if they don't like me, then I'm not going to get the sale. And if I don't get the sale, I'm not going to make enough money. And then I'm going to be short on my bills. And then I'm going to have an argument with my spouse. And it's like, wow, people just like, wow, you're pretty amazing with imagination. So if you're imagining things that haven't come true yet, but you're thinking about them or worrying about them or fear of them, false, uncertainty, scarcity. If you're really good at doing that, then you can do it the other way, right? A lot of people just don't think about that. So, the opposite of being an optimist is a pessimist. And what's really unique about a pessimist is they can find something wrong with everything. They're like, hey, this is going to go bad. This is going to go bad. Well, it could go good. What if it went good? So we were sharing this on our series. We're closing up the series on the mastery of the science of getting rich. And it was pretty amazing that a lot of people sat there and thought, wow, man, I do that. I do that. So, understanding each and every day that you can have a positive thought, a positive emotion, full of joy, or you could just really, really say, no, I'm going to do this, right? So I'm really excited to close up this series today on the mastery of the science of getting rich. It's really mean a lot to me. Thank you, Craig, for posting that. So we'll see you in 50 minutes. In 50 minutes at the top of the hour, you can go to roberthollis.com/live. Or what you can do is go to the YouTube channel at youtube.com Robert Hollis and look for the Science of Getting Rich, the mastery of the science of getting rich. We've really had a blast doing it, and it's hard for me to believe that it just kept getting better and better and better and better. But a lot of incredible people on there, and I just love and appreciate them so much. So I'll see you on the next video. Take care. If no one's giving you permission to succeed in life, let me be the first. And do me a huge personal favor and share this video for people that you know are really good at imagination, just on a negative versus a positive. They can switch it. So God bless. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.